If you're a busy guy over 40 who's trying to lose weight, you've probably been told that logging your food and downloading MyFitnessPal is the most scientific and the most accurate way to lose weight. So naturally, you download the tracking apps, you spend half of the day trying to figure out how many calories to eat, and you spend the other half of the day logging everything that you're putting into your mouth, only to realize that you're frustrated, you're burned out, and you're not actually getting any real results. You're not failing at this process because you're lazy. You're failing because macro and calorie tracking is a bad solution for busy guys over 40, especially if they have a really demanding career. So stick around for this video where I'm going to break down exactly what you should be doing instead so you can see long-lasting results without relying on typing everything into MyFitnessPal. Now to start off, we've got to be honest. Does calorie tracking work? Yes, it does. But it is not sustainable for guys who have a demanding career, who are trying to be present for their family, and who are making decisions all day long. Because you've already spent most of your day trying to figure out which fires to put out first, dealing with client issues, and making sure that your business is running smoothly. You've got your family responsibilities. What do the kids need for school the next day? What sporting events are you running off to? And then you finish all of that and you're expected to go into your phone on MyFitnessPal and type in 14 ingredients, all weighed out to the specific grams. By doing that, you're just setting yourself up for failure, and it is not something that's sustainable. And after working with hundreds of guys and doing this myself, here's what naturally happens. You start strong, you're hitting your macros for a week, you maybe even lose a little bit of weight. Then you go to travel or you have a business dinner and you're not quite sure what to log, so everything seems to fall off the rails. Now, like we said, macro tracking does work if you're a bodybuilder or maybe a 20-something who's just trying to get into amazing shape with very little other responsibilities. But if you're a busy professional in your 40s or 50s, that lifestyle is just not realistic, and it's not the lifestyle that you live. The reality is you do not need more precision. In fact, you need more simplicity. That's why I recommend sticking to the same breakfast during the week and very similar lunches. This way you can keep it boring Monday through Friday without having to think about it much. And then when you get to your weekend, you can go out for a great dinner with your family and actually enjoy it guilt-free. By doing this, it removes the decision fatigue in the day-to-day, but it also makes the game plan so much easier and much more simplistic to stick to. Now, here's another huge problem with macro tracking. If you're macro tracking, it actually disconnects you from real eating. And what I mean is you start to look at food as numbers instead of food as fuel. And oftentimes you'll even stop listening to your body just because you want to make sure you can get to the end of the day and hit your macros. And then what inevitably happens is you will fall off track. It's all part of the process. So then there's guilt, there's shame, and you run into that all or nothing mentality. Now, that does not sound like freedom to me, and it does not sound sustainable. You should be able to go out to dinner with your family, go out to great client dinners, go be able to travel without pulling out your phone and trying to hit your macros perfectly every single meal. The end goal of this, it is not to hit your macros. The goal is to build consistency that naturally keeps you in control without having to pull out your phone. And here's the kicker. Macro tracking, it's not even accurate. The calories in MyFitnessPal, especially if you're not spending a lot of time weighing, measuring, and getting exact, can be anywhere between 20 to 30% off of what it's actually showing. So a lot of you could be actually hitting the right numbers and hitting your targets, but you're still not in a caloric deficit, which means you can be doing all the right things, but not getting any closer to your goals. So instead of wasting your time on data that's flawed from the start, here's the simplified approach that I teach all my clients, and it's called the singular focused system. This nutrition strategy, it removes the decision fatigue. It gives you simple and actionable steps that you can actually follow through on. And that's what creates consistency long-term. So let me break it down for you. Step number one is to use photo tracking instead of macro tracking. So instead of obsessing over macros and numbers, what you should be doing is taking photos of everything that you're eating and drinking for 1 week. It's fast, it's visual, and it's going to give you instant and honest awareness of the types of foods that you're choosing to put into your body. When my clients see this, they get the instant truth. Are you eating too many calories for breakfast? Is your lunch too small? Are you having too many high carb snacks? Is there any protein to be found? You get to see this right away when we're able to focus in on taking those photos. And when you can see that, it starts to create awareness, and awareness is what's going to allow you to make the right changes without feeling like you're overhauling your entire diet all at once. And once you start making adjustments to those patterns, you can actually start seeing the movement, seeing the momentum without having to worry about tracking every calorie. Step number two is building out your anchor meals. These are simple, repeatable meals that you actually enjoy that can be put on autopilot. For example, for breakfast, it might be eggs, fruit, and coffee. Lunch would be a high protein bowl with chicken, rice, and some veggies. And for snacks, you could be grabbing a protein shake with fruit. These anchor meals, they're going to give you stability during your work week, plus they're going to raise your energy levels. Step number three, follow calorie consistency, not calorie perfection. What I see is most men fail because there's too large of a calorie swing from day to day. One day it's 1,500 calories, the next day it's 3,000 calories. Where you really need to do is find consistency each and every day. If your meals are similar in size and structure, they're naturally going to fall into a spot of a calorie deficit and finding some consistency throughout the entire week without the big ups and downs. This means you'll get the benefits of a calorie deficit without the tracking. Step number 4, my favorite, use calorie budgeting so that you can have some flexibility in your day and actually eat foods that you enjoy. So if you know you're going out for dinner with your family, or maybe you know you've got a big dinner traveling, we've got to proactively look ahead and make adjustments before those meals. Maybe that looks like skipping the carb at lunch, or maybe scaling back on a snack so that you can make more room for the foods that you enjoy while you're going out to eat with your family, or for that big steak that you're eating with one of your clients. And this is what real flexibility looks like, because then you can be eating the foods, whether it's at home with your family or travel, and you can do it guilt-free. This way you're not feeling restricted, and you're going into this thinking like a problem solver, thinking like a professional, just like you would in your workday. Step number 5, master the 80-20 rule. You do not need to eat perfectly, but you do have to be consistent. If 80% of your week is following the game plan, that means 20% you get to have some flexibility and freedom. That's how you can see great results without feeling like you're restricted, and actually stick to this long term and find something that's sustainable. The reason that I built this system out for myself is the same reason that my clients love it. It's because it is simple, but it actually gets you results. It's not about the all or nothing mentality or being perfect. It's about finding consistency. And when you can repeat simple habits month after month after month, that's where you get real results, instead of just stressing and obsessing for 3 weeks and then ending up falling off track anyways. If you want some guidance and accountability to implement this singular focus nutrition strategy, then go ahead and click the link below. It'll give some additional description of what one-on-one coaching looks like, and we can see if the program would be a potential fit for you.